Hello, it's Sunday and it's time for my mental health vlog. You may notice I'm not wearing glasses. I had an eye appointment this week. Went to get some contacts because the contacts I ordered a year ago I hated and I could never see with them, so I never ended up wearing them. So I wanted something that would work for me. So the eye doctor has got me in like a set of contacts where they're designed to deal with like the stigmatism and the farsightedness and the nearsightedness that I have going. So the contact in this eye allows me to see things up close. The contact in this eye allows me to see things far away. Eventually, I'm told that my brain will figure out how to make these work, but that hasn't happened yet. So I'm having to still look at things like this and like this and like this, and so we shall see. I'm also getting new glasses, but I was able to buy lenses for my rainbow frames because I love my rainbow frames and I get so many great compliments on them, and they're very me and they're fun and they're colorful and I love them. So I can only afford to get lenses for one pair of my fun glasses, so I decided to make it that one. Okay, this has not been a great week. This has not been a great week at work. This has not been a great week for my mental health, and I have not reacted well to a lot of things this week. And not as crazy or, it's not like an anger aggression thing like I was dealing with last week. This has just not been a great week. Let's just run through it real quick. This past weekend, my time with my son got cut short because of his emergency surgery on Friday. So I didn't get to spend as much time with him as we were supposed to this past weekend. So I was sad about that. However, he is recovering very, very well, and he has used pictures of his surgery and his scar as a great ice-breaking tool for kids at school this week, which is awesome. However, my son being somewhat of a hypochondriac, and using health as an excuse, is like, well, I can't do anything because I hurt, or I don't want to go because it'll hurt if I walk. So no, not handling that, not standing for that. That was a simple surgery. It was a simple incision, and it's been a week since your surgery, so you can stand to walk around JCPenney's for 45 minutes without dying. So nipping that in the bud real quick. So I told him, I'm like, this is the only weekend you're gonna get any sympathy from me. After this, no. But it was nice to have him this weekend, and I had Friday night and Saturday night, and we took him home just a couple hours ago. Didn't really do a whole lot this weekend, but it was nice to just have the time with him that we did. He spent a lot of time in his room on his laptop, and that's becoming a trend because he's really into this Minecraft server thing that he's doing, and I never will understand Minecraft. So I told him that starting next weekend, there will be a schedule for when and how long he can be on devices when he's over at Papa's house, or Papa and Papa's boyfriend's house. Work has been a challenge this week, which is most of where my stress has come from this week. A couple weeks ago, it was brought to my attention that part of what is expected of my role is being handled by the business. And as soon as I found out, okay, if I'm supposed to be doing it, I want to be doing it. And I brought up the conversation with the business to be like, we need to start a plan or a process for getting that portion of this function passed over to me, to my unit, and off of your desk. And that got a little brushed off by the business. But then the business decided to complain to someone in upper management this week that I wasn't doing my job and that they were doing my job for me. And when I heard this from my manager, I said, I brought this up with them almost a month ago. When was this critique made? And it was a very new critique. So I was very frustrated that I had already started to work to address this, and instead of addressing it, it just turned into a complaint on me that I wasn't doing it. So that was It's hard when you already have the feeling that you're not doing everything correctly because you don't always know what you're supposed to be doing. I've just gotten some training for this role. It's been a year in this position. I've just gotten some training for this role. I haven't even had time to really implement that training into what I'm doing, but I was already working on getting this particular issue fixed. So it was very frustrating because I know exactly where the complaint came from, and I know that it was something I was already trying to address with them. And so I've addressed it with them again, letting them know, hey, this fell off the radar a little while ago. Evidently, we need to make this happen because it's an issue now. So that sucked because that was the first real reprimand I had gotten in this role. And it's hard when your managers are like, oh, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. And then you don't. Especially if it's something that you're already trying to fix. Second thing that happened at work this week is I have releases on a project that I work on, and we do the releases every 4 to 6 weeks where everything new that we've worked on we push out to the production side. The week prior to that, we have to have sign off from the business, and then that sign off has to go to the tech management team to approve the release for the following week. Well, those things are due on Thursday, Friday morning at the latest if it's emergency, and ours was late, and I knew ours was late. And it was a lot of last minute fixes from the developer side, last minute corrections from the business side. And I'm like, okay guys, we can't. And then we finally got it all done, but it was late. And my manager, not my boss, my manager was in the meeting when they were reviewing the request for the next week's release, and they chastised mine for always being late or consistently being late. So then I got an email from my manager letting me know that, these things will not be accepted late anymore. That's unacceptable. So I was already unhappy with the fact that it was something I really didn't have a whole lot of control over, but that's the point. As the project manager, I need to have control over that. So I'm working on setting up some rules that if something's not done by here, it's not getting done. We're moving things back a week. I had to. I have to set processes in place that protect my sanity and protect my responsibilities because I have to. And now I've had my hand slapped at work twice in 1 week, and that's hard for me. And it's really hard for me to not take that critique personally, and I know I shouldn't take it personally, but I do. And it scares me when I get those kind of critiques. I don't know. I want to make sure I'm always doing my best at my job, and I'm trying to, but it has been hard. I was gone for a week, and then I was sick. Then I had my sons meet the teacher, then I had a dentist appointment on Tuesday, and then had an eye appointment on Thursday, which lasted like an hour and a half longer than it was supposed to, and I kept having to cancel and push back meetings, and I'm not in a good light right now at work. And it's hard because now, this week, I have jury duty. I'm really hoping I don't get picked tomorrow. I'm really hoping. I'm like, what can I do to guarantee I don't get picked for jury duty tomorrow? And then after that, I have an actual vacation coming up the first weekend of September. So there's all this time that I'm away from my desk, and there's all these things that I'm trying to do and catch up on. And it's frustrating. And it's disheartening when I feel like I've been put in a negative light now. Like the spotlight is on me. And I know that this is something that happens to everybody. I know it is. But I've always had a hard time not taking work critique personally. So that is something I have to work on. I did do something fun this week. On Wednesday, my boyfriend and I went to go see a musical at the Hobby Center called Mean Girls, which is based on the movie. I had heard some of the songs from it, enough to know that I really wanted to see the show, and we didn't get the best seats because, budgets, but we did get pretty good seats, and I honestly loved the show. The cast was amazing. At intermission, I realized that I'm familiar with one of the actresses, and I Googled her name at intermission, and sure enough, it was someone that was on the Glee project and ended up being on a couple episodes of Glee, and I actually have some of her songs already on my Spotify playlist. And the role that she was playing in the musical from the music I had heard was my favorite character, the character of Janice. And oh my God, she was just so stellar, so amazing. And when her songs came on that I loved, I totally went into lip sync mode. I'm sitting in my chair and I'm dancing and I'm singing, and I'm sure the white woman next to me probably thinks I'm high or whatever. I wasn't, but I was definitely having a great time. And of course, my boyfriend's on the other side of me, and he's just accepted that that's part of who I am. I'm a little bit crazy, and if there's a song that I love that comes on, then you can take the drag queen out of the boy, but you can't take the boy out of the drag queen. Or you take the boy out of drag, but you can't take the drag out of the boy? That sounds better. I've been on both sides of that scenario, so I'm not sure how that works. If you know, you know. The self-care portion was the eye appointment and the dentist appointment this week. Because I had not done that in a while, and I know that I needed to. And then I found out that because of those two appointments that were considered as something in my work wellness plan, and I got points for my work wellness plan, because of those two appointments, I've earned enough points that I will keep my 30% discount on my insurance premiums next year through work. So woohoo, because that's a big jump. I mean, 30% is huge. So very excited I get to keep that discount next year. So, dealing with just the am I good enoughs, those are something I struggle with, and trying to come up with boundaries to create solutions to problems that, even if I don't have control over them, I can still have a little bit more control over them. Live and learn. I learn something new about this job every day. I learn something new about me every day. So, I can't really think of anything else exciting that's going on other than today my aunt turned 70. I knew it was her birthday. I honestly had no concept that it was already 70. 70 today does not look like what 70 did 30 or 40 years ago. Like, I lost my grandparents in their 70s, 70s and 80s, and I don't associate how my grandparents looked with how my mom and my aunt look, or act, or how active they are. It's like I don't see that association, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm older, or if honestly people in their 60s and 70s don't look like people in the 60s and 70s did then. A great example of this is Golden Girls. Those women were in their 50s and 60s. Okay, well, look at Jennifer Lopez in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. She's in her 50s. Totally different. Picture Blanche Devereaux on a pole. I'm sure she's been on a pole, but I mean, picture her doing the stuff that Lopez was doing. So I don't know. Maybe it's just perspective, but I think it's more the perspective. I don't know. Maybe we're being forced to work longer and later in life to be able to afford to retire, and that's just keeping people more active, and people are just looking younger and taking better care of themselves. I would love it if my aunt and my mom were around for 20, 30, 40 more years. I know the reality of that isn't that, but I wasn't expecting 70. It took me for a shock today. And knowing that my mom is 6 months away from that it's insane for me. The two most important women in my life hitting that milestone. Crazy. That's it. I'm done talking. I love you guys. Check on your friends, make sure they're doing okay. Check on your loved ones, make sure they're doing okay. Check on yourself. I've had to do that a lot this week, and it's not been great. And not every week is going to be great. But life goes on, you pick up, you move on. Something's wrong, you try and fix it. That's all we can do. All right, that's it. Y'all have a great week, and I will check in with y'all next weekend. Wish me luck tomorrow. I don't want to get picked for jury duty. Bye.